Welcome back to another episode of What Are You, 12? An IDYP production. Thank you for joining us today to talk about Midnight in Paris, the Woody Allen film from our year, 2011. With me today is our regular co-host, Emily.
Hi, everyone.
And our buddy, Brandon.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Before we get started talking about Midnight in Paris, inspired by this movie, which time period and place would you want to live in?
It seems like a really bad question to ask this woman over here and a black man on this podcast, Ben.
That's really funny because, and maybe we'll just do this now, one of my talking points was this idea of golden age thinking. Is this a white person thing?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
If I could pick without just like any sort of ramifications, I still think I would pick some sort of matriarch society of some kind.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter the time period as long as it's some matriarch society. So maybe like Vikings, possibly.
Yeah.
Where I could actually own it. But also I think about there's no medicine. I'm going to fucking die when I'm 40 or earlier because I'm fighting. So nothing sounds great. Childbirth, I'll die in childbirth. It'll be a great time.
Wow, we're starting on a real downer.
I'm choosing Wakanda. That's what I'm choosing.
There you go.
Any place Wakanda exists.
Future.
either that or maybe Tulsa, Oklahoma before everything got really bad. It's probably only two places I can possibly think of where I may actually get an education, be safe, and not have to worry about stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben, you get to do a real answer then.
So easy. Take me back to March 2020.
Oh,
I miss the
really?
pandemic, y'all. I miss it. I miss working from home. I miss only having to worry about virtual learning and podcasting. That was the life, man. Golden age thinking. We had it so much better during the pandemic.
Honestly, low key, I spent the whole year with Titan, so it was amazing for me. That's a year that I'm so glad I was. If there was any plus to having to have leg surgery and then not having to show up to work for like 7-8 months, that's probably what it was.
Well, y'all, I watched something recently.
Ooh, did you watch the Oscars?
Did you guys watch the Oscars?
Oh, is that what you actually were going to ask?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you guys watch the Oscars?
Fuck no.
Believe it or not, I only if I only watched one movie, then I don't watch the Oscars. But I knew off rip it was the movie I saw was the best movie all last year, so it didn't make a difference. I knew it was going to win it.
And is it the one that won?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the only one I watched.
I agree. You guys missed a decent awards show, though, because not only did the movie that we all wanted to win, but the actors from that won too. And comeback stories and legacy awards were the kind of the theme of the acting awards last night. So Ke Huy Quan winning for Best Supporting Actor. I love that guy so much. Seeing Best Picture handed to him by Harrison Ford was just a nice touch. There was a lot of tears for me last night.
Oh,
Jamie Lee Curtis celebrating her Hollywood parents and saying like they were nominated for Oscars and now I've got one. It was just a lot of really cool moments.
Are you tearing up right now?
No, I had an itch. Sorry.
Are you sure you had an itch?
It's okay. It's okay if you did.
No, I did not.
I'm
but
not
I was
judging.
tearing up a lot last night.
Very cute.
It was a very well put together show. Even the part where Cocaine Bear harassed Malala, which I know everyone had on their Oscar bingo card. That did happen. So a little bit of insanity to go along with a typical award show. But you guys should really watch the Oscars. Like maybe one year.
I mean, I normally, again, if I've at least watched 3 of the 5 or 6 movies that are up for it, I normally say, cool, I'm going to watch. But I normally, if I haven't, then I don't, because I feel like I'm just going to be 100% biased to the one movie that I saw.
Ben, I'm so behind on movies right now. Like, I'm only in year 2011. There's no fucking way I'm catching up with this. It's just not going to happen.
That's fair. Well, we watched a movie that had some Oscar love for it back in 2011 in Midnight in Paris. which is currently at 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Picture, Director, Art Direction, and Original Screenplay, for which it won.
I mean, this is unbelievable. There's no city like this in the world.
You're in love with a fantasy.
I'm in love with you.
What are you doing here? Dad's here on business, and we just decided to freeload along. Oh.
That's great. We can spend some time together.
I think we have a lot of commitments, but I'm sure it's... Well,
What?
If I'm not mistaken, Rodin's work was influenced by his wife, Camille.
Rose was the wife.
No, he was never married to Rose.
I hope you're not going to be as antisocial tomorrow.
I'm not quite as taken with him as you are. I mean, he's a pseudo-intellectual.
Slightly more tannic than the 59. I prefer a smoky feeling.
Writer and director of this movie is Woody Allen. He began making films in the 1960s. He's a 19-time Oscar nominee for writing and directing, and he's won 4 for the movies Annie Hall, which won Best Picture and Writing, and Hannah and Her Sisters, which won for writing. And as stated above, he did win Best Original Screenplay for this movie.
Okay, I just want to throw out there that I have not seen any Woody Allen movies except for this movie. I have heard of Annie Hall, but don't even know what it's about other than what I think it's like Ted Mosby's favorite movie. That's like all I know about it.
Oh, that's fucking fitting.
Yeah, I've seen parts of Vicky Cristina Barcelona. I saw Anything Else. I've seen a little bit of Annie Hall. Enough to know he definitely has a writing style.
Absolutely.
You can definitely tell. It's in all his movies.
Definitely a specific voice. That's for sure.
Ben, you've seen a lot of his movies?
I've only seen 2. I've seen Annie Hall and Match Point, but I've seen clips of all the other ones because being an Oscars guy, when you're nominated 19 times, you see clips of the shit he's done. But yeah, very, very stereotypical style that a lot of other people try to copy. I'm thinking back to Ted Mosby's favorite movie being Annie Hall, and there was a movie called I Love New York, or I Love You, New York, that Josh Radnor directed, who played Ted Mosby, and that was a very Woody Allen feel to it. So I'm sure that was something he pulled in to that character. But Emily, you know who Woody Allen is, right?
I know that he's not Martin Scorsese, but he has glasses that look like Martin Scorsese's. He's an old white guy.
You nailed it.
He's an old white guy.
But they have the black rimmed glasses, and one of them is thicker than the other ones, I think, with their glasses.
Okay.
Please move on.
Yep. Starring in this movie is Owen Wilson. He got his acting start in Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket, which he also co-wrote with Wes Anderson. He also starred in many other Wes Anderson movies, including 2007's Darjeeling Limited. He's also known for comedic roles in Wedding Crashers, Zoolander, and Cars. And also he's in Armageddon. So, he can do no wrong in my eyes because Armageddon is top 5 film for me.
He was in Armageddon. I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, wow. There he is. Wow. Rachel McAdams also starred in this movie. She was Owen Wilson's co-star and love interest in Wedding Crashers. She also appeared in The Hot Chick, Mean Girls, The Notebook, and Sherlock Holmes.
She is so fucking incredible. We can talk about it later, but I am just like, I love her. I love her so much.
We can talk a little bit about it now. I forgot how pretty she is.
She's
completely forgot. I'm like,
woman.
man, she's kind of bad. I'm like, no wonder I used to watch these movies.
Favorite Rachel McAdams role? Go.
Favorite? Oh, I love her in Sherlock Holmes. She's so fucking hot, and she's so good.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes. Definitely Sherlock Holmes.
I'm going more recent, Eurovision.
Oh, she was so good in
I thought
Eurovision.
she was so good in that.
She was so good.
Also in this movie is Marion Cotillard. She starred in many French movies and TV shows before breaking out as a French wife in Big Fish, which she turned into other French roles, such as her part in 2010's Inception. She's got a part. She's got a type that she plays. You need a French girl. Call it Marion. This movie also features Kathy Bates, Tom Hiddleston, Corey Stoll, and Michael Sheen.
An American Michael Sheen. Ugh.
I couldn't look at him and in this character and not think of Wesley from 30 Rock.
30 Rock.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the same character, just one's British and one's American.
It feels like I've never seen him just play a regular person. I've always seen him as like
A caricature.
Yeah, he's a serial killer. He's like a
vampire.
Yeah, he was a vampire. He was a Lycan too, wasn't he? And he's never been just himself. This is the first time I actually see him just playing a regular person, and it was kind of off-putting. I didn't know if I liked it or not.
Well, his character's very off-putting too. I'm sure we'll talk about that.
So off-putting.
Yeah.
We had all seen this movie before. Brandon.
I saw parts of it. I never saw the very beginning. I've always seen the back end of it.
Well, you're going to give us what the synopsis is straight from the back of the DVD cover.
Gil Pender is a screenwriter and aspiring novelist. Vacationing in Paris with his fiancée, he is taken to touring the city alone. On one such late-night excursion, Gil encounters a group of strange yet familiar revelers who sweep him along, apparently back in time for a night with some of the jazz age's icons of arts and literature. The more time Gil spends with these cultural heroes of the past, the more dissatisfied he becomes with the present.
So, Brandon, you had said you'd seen parts of this movie. Which parts do you remember or had you seen?
I saw the part where he first meets Hemingway. So from Hemingway on, and I didn't understand who Alison Pill was until I watched it this time. Which Alison Pill is in this film, which makes me happy.
Right?
I like Alison Pill.
I do too.
But yeah, I didn't realize Loki was in this too. So yeah, so I was like, oh wow, this is a whole Marvel reunion. Yeah, I watched from the Hemingway part on. It was interesting, but I never saw the beginning part. But I kind of pieced everything together on the beginning. But yeah, that's the part that I actually started watching it when I first saw the film.
I find it intriguing that you say that because you haven't seen the beginning. I have seen this movie front to end, beginning to end. Oh God.
Tip to top.
I've seen this entire fucking movie and I did not remember the beginning at all. It just wasn't memorable to me in the beginning. Like, I knew that he walked around and he met famous authors, but that's all I remembered from the entire movie.
Yeah, I had seen this movie before too. I remembered liking it a lot the first time I saw it. And I sat watching it this time wondering, what the fuck were you thinking? Because I did not like this movie at all. Emily, did you like this movie?
I don't think I did. And it's not because of really the dialogue or any of the acting or the visuals. Like, it was a beautiful movie, but man, it was fucking boring. It was so boring. Guys, I was so bored, and it's 90 minutes long.
Is it 90 minutes long?
It's 90 minutes long.
It felt longer.
And I was so bored.
It felt longer.
It felt longer.
Why do people like this?
Is it just me, or does Woody Allen find people to play Woody Allen? Does it feel like that? Like he finds somebody to just be him, and then he just inserts them into the movie. Because like all the mannerisms and the talking and the starting over themselves to say stuff, that's like so Woody Allen-ish.
I mean, to be fair, that Owen Wilson fumbling over himself, Woody Allen specifically wrote the character for Owen Wilson once they had cast him.
Oh, okay.
So he had written this movie and then he went back and rewrote that part to better fit the delivery of Owen Wilson.
I think I would have liked this movie more if the time travel was more interesting. And I thought that maybe if I knew the people that he was running into, it would have made more of an impact. But at the same time, I don't know. I just felt like the time travel itself was like, oh, we're back in time for some reason, not sure why. And we're running into people and suddenly he's back home. And I get that I'm supposed to just experience it, but I was not a big fan of how the time travel worked in this movie.
And that surprises me, Emily, because I would very much call this fantastical time travel. as opposed to sci-fi time travel, which I am much bigger fan of sci-fi time travel than fantasy time travel. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought you, with your fantasy love, would have bought into the time travel in this movie.
No, time travel in fantasy does not happen. Like, that does not happen, or at least in the books I read, time travel does not happen in a fantasy novel. So in this world of, we're going to have time travel, that is a strictly sci-fi sort of device. It should not be fantastical. That should have logic and meaning.
Is Chronicles of Narnia not essentially time travel?
I don't think so. They just go to different worlds.
And then they're there for 70 years and come back and they're still children.
Kids,
I feel like that's kind of.
It's not time travel exactly. It's more like a disproportionate ratio of things. Like when we go into, Inception, right? Inception isn't time travel.
Yep, you're right. Yeah.
Aha!
So I was thinking about this film a little bit differently that this time that I watched it, in the sense that I felt like more so the time travel was basically more so his subconscious telling him that he needs to kind of get his shit together as far as like
Ben reacted to that.
And that's how I kind of felt. That's kind of how it felt like, because he's got the book and then he's got this relationship and all this other stuff. And it kind of feels like these are the spots he goes to be like, okay, let me level my shit out. That's kind of how it felt like, even though I know the time travel was technically real because the guy gets lost in a different time. So still, that part's funny as fuck. But like, that whole process of that's how I kind of felt like that's how it was.
I wanted it to be that, Brandon, so badly. And then they had to pull in the part with the diary where the expert's reading her diary and he's mentioned in the diary.
Oh, yeah.
Showing that the time travel actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Which I hated that, but like that's the part where I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why are we doing it this way? We don't have to do it this way.
Yeah. Because then it would have left the mystery. Is it just in his, is he taking these night walks and he's just in his head? Or is it actually really happening?
Because then everything got called into question after that. He plants the idea in that one filmmaker or storyteller's head for the thing that he eventually creates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he saves Zelda Fitzgerald from killing herself. Like, if he's not there, does Zelda jump in the river? Like, there was just so many time travel conundrum issues that me, a sci-fi person, gets hung up on, that this movie just like, whatever. No.
Yeah. I mean, or it could be like, and I'm going way back with this, it could be like a Star Trek thing. There was this one Star Trek where, like, I forgot which movie it was. It's the one where they had to go back and save the whales. It didn't do all that good. But like that one, like where I think it's Scotty tells this guy or gives somebody like the formula to figure out how to actually contain a ton of water into these like these like glass tubes or whatever. So it's almost like he kind of like put it in there because if he's the inventor of it, then it ends up on the other end. So he needed a push. So that's kind of felt like if that was real, if the time travel aspect of Owen Wilson going back was real, he just gave that guy a push to create something. Or if it's subconsciously in his mind, he already knew he was going to do it. He just said it in just basic conversation for himself. So that's kind of took it two ways.
Can you imagine all the consequences that would have happened with Owen Wilson just hanging out in the 1920s in Paris? Man, so many things would have gone wrong.
100%. With his surfer California like way of speaking too, like come on.
He's another guy. I don't feel like him and his brother act. I think they just show up as themselves and people like it.
For sure. I also was really confused with, was it Adriana was her name? The French woman?
Or Adriana. Is it Adriana or Audrina?
I don't know. Whatever. I'm just going to go Adriana. So they go back in time to the 1890s and she's in this like nostalgia place. And that's when Owen Wilson's character finally realizes that like nostalgia isn't always a good thing. It's trying to remember like good things about that era, but completely forget anything bad, like the worst of something. I kept thinking back to, I love the digs at the Republicans in this. And so I kept thinking about this whole, well, we want things to be really amazing like it used to be. And we want to make America great again. And I was like, because nostalgia sucks. And everything sucks in the past, pretty much. But I guess I just was really confused if she did end up staying there and how the timeline works with that. It fucked my brain.
I think she stayed. Yeah.
Even still, I wonder if she was actually initially just a regular French person that just goes from loop to loop. It's just, she doesn't like where she's at. She remembers something that could be better, and she just bounces. What if she was there in like the 70s and she said, no, I want to go back further. But she's like a regular modern person. Maybe she's the first.
Can she go forward, though?
I don't know.
She seemed pretty surprised that Owen Wilson was able to come back in time. I don't know if she's got the experience.
Yeah, I was just throwing it out there. Maybe she hopped into an old car one day and then that's how she just lives there.
Maybe she hopped into a DeLorean.
Could maybe.
That's at least time travel I can get behind.
Right.
DeLorean. But they ain't got a flux capacitor. I'm not fucking with it. Simple as that. It's got a flux capacitor and stainless steel.
I think the reason this movie did so little for me is because there was nothing in this movie that I could relate to. It was rich people problems from jump. I couldn't get behind any of it. Like, I didn't understand the angst that Owen Wilson felt. Like, there was just nothing. And then he goes back and meets these people who I have no connection with. Like, I know who Hemingway is. I know who F. Scott Fitzgerald is, but like, these romanticized people have no place in my heart.
I completely agree. And especially when we know that a lot of these artists weren't in good places. And so we are literally seeing only good things. If there had been some sort of change in the direction where you see these artists as not good people, as completely depressed and alcoholics, because most of them were, or they were completely out of their minds on drugs. If we had seen any of that, I could probably like this movie more with some more edge. This movie just didn't have any of that. There was just no tension besides his fiance. And, oh no, I make too much money writing screenplays in Hollywood. I want to write a novel.
Yeah, that's some real first world shit. And then the thing that really messed me up, they're in Paris. And like this, I'm gonna just go to the cinematography real quick. I've never been to Paris. That's probably some of the scenes they had, some of the most beautiful scenes I've seen. Just like they're like walking. I think it's like the first scene you see all four of them, and they're walking by I don't know what building that is in the background. And they're just casual. They're not even looking at the scene. They're just having some regular ass conversation. And the first thing that popped in my head, and I wrote this down, was like, how many fucking times have they been to Paris for this not to be shit? Like, oh, it's whatever. It's just some shit behind us that's absolutely amazing. We're just gonna keep walking. Even when they went to like the art museum, like it's a Monet, man. Like you should be sitting there and just constantly staring at that forever. And they're like, oh yeah, it's a Monet. And it kept going. It's like, dog, you've been here too many times. Like, you do not appreciate this shit at all.
It took me 2 years to look at this painting. Oh.
It's the worst.
Is that the Michael Sheen character?
Yeah, but I kind of made him a little bit British.
Fuck that guy. How does Rachel McAdams cheat on him with Michael Sheen? Is that Rachel McAdams' version of like Golden Age thinking, where she thinks back to this guy that she had a crush on in college?
Oh, absolutely.
And now she can get him? Like, is that the point of that?
No, it's not the point, but it works out nicely. I don't think fucking, oh God, I forgot his name.
Woody?
Yeah, I was going to say Wally.
Wally? Who's Wally?
I don't think Woody Allen had a thought about what that was like how that was going to resolve itself. He was just like, oh, we're going to give him some sort of negative thing outside of his control and have it happen to him. And he doesn't even fucking react. He's just like,
no.
Oh, okay. Bye. I'm going to live here in Paris.
Yeah, that was bad.
I mean, he was already looking for his way out, right?
Oh, absolutely.
He was past it.
I think it's a little bit more like Well, I mean, maybe he wasn't shocked at all. Maybe that's what she does, because he just seemed like it's like, oh, you slept with him? Oh, well, I gotta put these earrings back or something. It was just a whole bunch of stuff that it didn't seem like it made a lot of sense at all. Like, I think I'd still be hurt and pissed, but like he didn't seem like he gave a shit at all.
Since we're kind of talking about her, we really do need to talk about Rachel McAdams. I fucking love her. I really, really love her. And I haven't seen her in everything that she's been in, but anytime she's in something, I'm like, fuck, you are incredible. You really are. And I loved to hate her in this movie. She was delightfully terrible.
Mhm.
It wasn't just what she was saying and how she delivered it, though. It was her body language, the way that she would move away from Gil in not like a mean way, but just like a casual, you don't exist to me way, where he would like wrap his arms around her and she would just stand there for a second, not even rigid, just like a blob, and then move on. I was like, holy shit, this is so cold.
Yeah, Woody Allen reached out to Rachel McAdams with this script and said, I think it's time you play a bitchy character. And it's like, Woody,
What?
do you not watch cinema? Have you not seen Mean Girls? She's queen bitch. So I did not understand that.
I love too that her character in the story, honestly, I really love that it didn't show her outrightly as just an absolute demon, but slowly peeled back the layers. She defends her dad when when Owen Wilson's character is like this Tea Party shitbag, completely fucking terrorizing this man who definitely deserves it. We can tell. But from that, where it's like, well, he's my dad and blah, 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 to suddenly there's this tension between her and Owen Wilson at the end when her pearl earrings go missing. And she's like, you always take the side of the help. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is really great. This is great.
She was gonna get her fired and everything. They got too serious all of a sudden.
So you guys don't know this, or Ben probably knows this. I hate when, and this is just me, I hate when girls call their dads daddy. I think that it's extremely weird. And when Rachel McAdams says daddy to her dad many times over, it is the cringiest shit I've ever heard. And it's exactly why I hate when girls call their dads daddy.
I'm trying to get my son to stop saying that to you right now. I'm like, no, it's dad, son. It's just dad. There's no DY. Just dad. Okay.
And maybe I will change my mind when I have children, but I really doubt it. I think it's stupid.
I'm getting to the point where I'm telling you, look, just call me Brandon as long as it's not daddy, dog. I don't give a hell what you call me right now. Just don't call me daddy. Like that. Yeah, I'm the same way with that.
Brandon, let's do some shots.
Everybody! I think I talked about my favorite one the opening is amazing. I love the opening and I like the fact that, and maybe this is just like a editing choice, how they're kind of talking over everything and it's still dark and you see them pop up, but just like the rain, I think the rain is amazing. The lighting is great. Like it keeps this rustic look, even when it's supposed to be like now, like the modern time, even before he walks into the actual car, it feels like they only kind of make it kind of sepia-esque a little bit on the back end, but like the rest of it, like all the lights all kind of are like that 3500 Kelvin type yellowish light all the time. And it looks nice. Like that DP is the same one who did the Lost City of Z, Panic Room, Uncut Gems, which I thought was a very good film, and one of my favorite films, Seven. So that's like that cinematographer. So I like that. I can't pick one. It really looked that good throughout the whole film.
Yeah, that 3-minute tour of the city set to music to start the movie, I really appreciated that, because after a couple minutes, I finally made the connection. Oh, this is Paris.
It took you that long? Or are you just being a shit? You're being a shit.
I'm being a shit. You can't spend 3% of your movie just showing me establishing shots of a city. That was a nonsense decision. And then to run the opening credits over a black screen for another minute after that, why can't you just run the opening credits? Let's have a little bit more economical filmmaking.
Okay, well, I actually kind of liked it. I liked most of it because I thought it was incredibly gorgeous. That's literally it. I thought there was lots of color and vibrancy, and I immediately wrote down, I can see why this was probably nominated for Best Picture. Nostalgia. But also, it at the end of the scene, as the sun was setting, I went, oh, this is a whole day in Paris. Oh, guess what? It's midnight. It's dark now. Ha! I get it. So I felt really smart.
But I mean, like, all technical things aside, I didn't mind it, especially if it's, I mean, it looked pretty. That's all I can say. Like, I like pretty stuff. I like lines. I like all that stuff in that. And it had, even when like the cars come up the street, there's just like this like little windy lines on the street that kind of come around and makes your eye look to where the car's coming up. Like, there's a lot of stuff in it that was like, to me, was aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I can't really pick one shot, because I think even the lighting, like when he first meets Alison Pill, like all that stuff was lit nice. Like, I just can't. It's really hard for me to be like, oh, this was okay. This was whatever. Like, even with the stuff that they're shot just like during the daytime, like again, like the shot where there's this beautiful building behind them and they're just walking like it ain't shit. Like, that shot is amazing to me. And they're just kind of walking through the scene, and I think it's one of the films that I can say I think is pretty all the way through.
Yeah, and those opening 3 minutes are very pretty. I think my problem with it is in fitting in with the rest of the movie, where you just spent 3 minutes of getting me to fall in love with a city that now you're going to have this other main character spend the entire time not wanting to be a part of. Like, it's that piece of like, you made present day Paris feel so wonderful and I want to be there. And now you're having me try to go along with this main character who doesn't want to be there. And it just felt tonally dissonant to do that.
Well, I mean, he wanted to be there at the end. So maybe he was so stuck in all the rest of the stuff that's in his head that he didn't realize the beauty itself that we saw in the beginning.
We need to talk about the end. What the actual fuck? Because Gil comes back from wherever in 1890, and he's like, I figured out my novel shit. I broke up with my fiance. I'm going to live in Paris. I'm probably wealthy enough where I can just live wherever the fuck I want and stay in a hotel forever. And he just randomly runs into this French woman he's met twice. Speaking of running into people on a vacation, they also run into people from America in Paris randomly. Like, how often does that fucking happen? Don't say anything, Ben. It's so stupid. Stop.
I ran into a student on the streets of New York.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? This does not happen in real life.
I'm saying it happens all the time.
It does not happen.
Dude, I was in Cuba. We were kidding with like people from like New York, Indiana, on the beach.
No, this does not fucking happen. Does not happen. But they're just hit it off, and it's like, oh, I like Rain too. Instant connection. Love forever. Ugh. I'm just gonna throw up.
I know why you didn't like this movie. You're not a romantic at all.
Okay. It's not that I'm not a romantic. It's that there is no speculation. It is they end up together. There is no thinking in this movie. I didn't have to use my brain in this movie at all.
I don't have a counter to that. This movie does give you everything and doesn't ask you to do much thinking or pondering on it. It's a very surface level movie. The surface level is very pretty.
Yeah, I tried to make it deeper. Maybe it's the subconscious with all the characters. That's what I started to feel like. No, see, that's what I kind of started to feel like. But then again, I've been watching so many sci-fi time travel films lately, so.
I think we got to wrap this shit up. Emily's falling asleep. I mean, Ben, if you got something, you go for it, bud.
I mean, we've barely scratched the surface.
Oh, stop.
Owen Wilson is horribly miscast in this movie.
Yeah.
The contrasting way of his speaking style and line delivery with like the 1920s feel of the dialogue from Hemingway and Fitzgerald, it just felt, it was very like almost like two different movies were happening. And anytime Owen Wilson gets philosophical in movies, all it comes off to me as is his Hansel character from Zoolander. And he does say wow in this movie 7 times. This is one of his most wowified movies.
Really?
Yep.
Is he a good actor, yes or no? Because I know I said it before. It feels like he plays himself, and sometimes that works great. But is he...
I don't think he's a great actor.
I think he's perfectly fine.
I mean, it feels like like he has... Well, I don't...
He needs to stick with Wes Anderson quirky movies.
He is best when he has a comedic partner to bounce stuff off of. Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn. He is much better adept at playing off of someone who's even crazier than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his acting is only ever as strong as the script. He'll never elevate something above what's on the page.
That's fair.
Because if he's on a team of all-stars, he gets elevated to becoming an all-star.
Sure.
In a sense. Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree with that. So he's not bad. He's just... Okay. Right. Thank you. Because I didn't know if he was... I was going through my head like he feels like the everyman all the time. Like even in like Loki, he felt like he was just the everyman all the time. And it's like... But then again, like that series is a little bit higher ending and a whole lot kind of complex. And it felt like he kind of helped it move along. So, okay, cool. Got it. Thanks. That's all I needed.
Ben, let's roll these motherfucking credits, please.
Okay, the credits play over the same fucking French elevator music that most of the movie was scored to.
Same song.
The same song. And then finally in the last 20 seconds, it kicks in with a can, which did kind of brighten up my mood a little bit. But my opinion of the credits is oui, not the French word.
Yeah, but I could imagine you swooping up popcorn and those last 20 seconds completely doing a can dance by yourself.
By myself? I don't need to do it by myself. My dancing is infectious. If I'm dancing, everyone around me is dancing.
Yeah, but if it's the last 20 seconds, who's going to be fucking there?
My other ushers. You think I sweep a theater by myself?
I don't know how this works. I was a lifeguard.
No, with 21 theaters, you got 3 or 4 in a theater at a time.
Oh, so it was you, Wesley, and Dylan all together.
Well, Dylan was always stuck up in projection. Let's give our final thoughts on this movie, and we're going to start with Brandon.
It's cool. That's about...
Cool.
It's cool.
Emily?
It's superficial. It put me into a lull of not having to use my brain. Probably would be nice to have in the background while maybe it's raining outside and you just want some French ambiance. But at that point, just use like one of those ambiance videos on YouTube for French music or watch Ratatouille.
Hemingway at one point in this movie says, "No subject is terrible if the story's true, the prose is clean and honest, and it affirms courage and grace under pressure." So I can safely say that this story is terrible. And it makes me so mad that a week after doing A Separation, which this movie beat it for best original screenplay for, like I am irate having to watch this movie after A Separation.
I'm so sorry.
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get the idea?
I just try to think creatively.
Number 1. Keep in mind, this is like 2010, right? So what movie did Owen Wilson's character write to become famous in Hollywood? Because he was all about that, like, I'm going to leave this world of Hollywood. But he was really good at writing screenplays. What did he write?
Which 2010 movie did he write?
Oh, any movie.
I think he wrote the script to Grown Ups. I think he hates himself for what he did by making that Adam Sandler movie as successful as it was, which is justifiable. He should hate himself for that.
That's why he wants to get out and be a real person by writing.
And he doesn't. He writes Grown Ups 2 while he's in Paris.
Oh man. I've got two. It's either Leaving Las Vegas because he's trying to leave someplace.
Oh.
Or if you haven't seen Safety's Not Guaranteed, I think, with what's her name? Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, that one.
That technically comes out after this movie.
Who cares?
Okay.
I love it. Number 2. Ben, you're going to go first on this one. Pick a number 1 through 6.
5.
All right. You're mistaken for a tour guide at the Palace of Versailles.
Mm-hmm.
Make up some facts about it for this really dumb tour group.
Well, you guys are lucky because I've actually been to the Palace of Versailles and I actually have an extensive knowledge of it. So on your left, you'll see the shop where they sell what's the macarons?
You're a really good tour guide.
Yeah,
Confidence.
So they sell those cookies there. And you know why they sell those cookies there? That's because that was the favorite cookie of King Louis.
Which one?
The one that lived here.
Oh, okay.
Shocking, I know. He loved that cookie so much that he said to his wife, Marie, he said, let them eat cookies. And she's like, fuck that, let them eat cake. And that's how the conflict started of the War of 1812. And that's why France sent us the Statue of Liberty, is because we saved them in that war. And they were very thankful for us. And you can see that actually the medal from the Statue of Liberty is made from the same metal that is serving as the siding of Versailles.
Oh.
Yeah, they actually took it off when they were re-siding it. And they're like, let's repurpose this.
I'm sorry.
Otherwise, it's just
Are
going in a
you
landfill.
Nicolas Cage? Is this what's happening right now?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
All right. Brandon, your turn. Pick a number 1 through 6, not 5.
3.
Okay, so you are also mistaken for a tour guide. You're at the Louvre. I want you to make up some facts about it for another really dumb tour group.
Some facts about the Louvre. Well, it was called just like the Horseshoe, but they decided to call it the Louvre. We don't even know why. We just figured that, some shit went down and we just said, you know what? Like, fallait c'est le Louvre. And then that became the Louvre. And we just kind of made that up.
God,
and then
it's
like,
French.
I know, I'm amazing. I'm actually amazing.
I didn't know Louvre was French for horseshoe.
It was French for horseshoe.
Amazing.
It's French for horseshoe. We also have French fries that we actually serve by the Louvre as well.
What?
It's actually, if people think it's like an American thing, it's actually our thing because we're French, and that's how we get down. That's how we get down.
Wow.
Hey, welcome to the Louvre.
Number 3, a car pulls up at midnight in Paris. Who is in the car? Probably from the past, but who knows?
If it's Jill Scott, I have to leave my wife. I'm sorry, I love Jill Scott. She pulls up and she sings to me. She has to just look at me, and if there's anybody that can sing your drawers off, and it's a man, it's Jill Scott. I know who I don't want in the car, and this is gonna sound bad. I don't want Tupac or Biggie in the car at all.
Well, no.
Neither one of them cannot be any place next to anything that has 4 wheels and gas.
Well, if Jill Scott's there, you don't want your wife in that car either.
Nope.
Or maybe you do,
because it'll probably be the same fate as Biggie and Tupac.
All right, Ben, who's in the car?
So there was this guy, his name was King Louis, the one that lived at Versailles.
Oh my God.
He's in the car waiting for me. Only under his crown is a tiny little rat. It's Ratatouille. Ratatouille has literally been orchestrating the War of 1812 this entire time. It was his idea, because he knew that a split France was what was best for him to make his gains in the culinary world.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
The inside job the whole time, y'all.
It was fucking Ratatouille, man.
Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
All right, Ben, let's move on to your.
Okay, for my game tonight, this game's called Translations Are Hard. So I'm going to give you the title of an American movie according to the way it was translated into another language. And you need to tell me what the real title is.
Oh, shit.
So I've got an example. So in Israel, what movie had the title It's Raining Falafel?
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
That's correct.
Oh.
So it's just first person to shout out the answer gets a point.
Hold on a second. Let me see what the consequence is before I.
You're not allowed to look, apparently.
You're not allowed to look. Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Number 1. In Peru, this movie was called Slightly Pregnant.
Knocked Up?
That's correct. In Italy, this movie was called If You Leave Me, I Delete You.
If you leave me, I'll delete you?
Yeah, I'm lost.
I have no idea.
3, 2, 1. That is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, okay.
Number 3, in Germany, this movie was called A Twin Seldom Comes Alone.
A twin seldom comes alone?
Yep.
Parent Trap?
That's correct.
Oh shit,
oh my
no way.
goodness.
It is Parent Trap. Number 4, in France, this movie was called The Young People Who Traverse Dimensions While Wearing Sunglasses.
Spy Kids?
No.
Damn.
I'm trying to think of all the interdimensional time travel stuff. I can't think of anything at all. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Incorrect. It is The Matrix.
The Young People.
I had an actor in there that was the same. Can I get a half a point for that?
Okay, the next one is from Italy, and it is Please Do Not Touch the Old Women.
What? Is this a movie I know?
Uh-huh. It's one you absolutely know. And you're going to laugh when I tell you what it is.
Probably.
Do not touch the old women.
It's a tough game.
It is a tough game. If you gave us like one additional thing when we're stuck, it might jog our memories of any movie, but like...
Yeah, I know.
This is...
I swear to God, if this was 4:00, I'd be on.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'd still be like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Finding Nemo?
Nope. Did you have a guess, Brandon?
I said striptease, but no, that's not right.
It is not Striptease. It is The Producers.
Oh my God, I was going to say that. And I was like, no, that can't be it. Oh my God.
And the last 4 are all from China because I love them so much. In China, Mysterious Murder in Snowy Cream.
The Snowman?
No.
Murder on the Orient Express?
No, it is Fargo.
Oh. Yeah, I would not have guessed that.
Okay, the next one. A very powerful whale runs to heaven.
What?
Free Willy? I don't know.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It is Free Willy. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, the next one. Run, Run, Cloudzilla.
My initial thought when you said run, run was going to be Forrest Gump, but...
Run, Cloudzilla.
Ben, this is fucking stupid. This is so stupid.
Never-ending Story?
No, it's Twister.
What?
I hate
Cloudzilla
Twister.
is a tornado.
I hated Twister.
Last one from China. He's a ghost.
Casper.
No.
Fuck you.
He's a ghost.
I'll say right now, the title is a massive spoiler.
Ghost?
No.
The ghost. Oh, M. Night Shyamalan's joint.
Yep.
Sixth Sense?
Sixth Sense.
It is The Sixth Sense.
But I
yes.
don't get that point because we both guessed wrong.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's 2-1, so I lost. I lost bad.
Woo!
Well, thank you everyone for listening. Please like, rate, subscribe, share us with a friend or two. You can follow us on social media at IDYP_podcast on Twitter and Instagram, or you can email us at idrinkyourpodcast@gmail.com. Brandon, as the loser of the game, you need to end the episode by saying, "Wow, I love the 1920s and Paris," in your most Owen Wilson voice.
Wow. I love the 1920s and Paris.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Everything's so cool. Wow.
Oh, bye, everyone.
Wow, Hemingway.
Bye.
Wow.
Bye.